Aries, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for April 18th to the 24th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link because the signs are different. All right, Aries, so this week, very important. We've got the sun going into your sign. We've got a lot of aspects, particularly with Venus, and of course, your ruler's retrograde this week, and we've got a full moon in Virgo. So let's go ahead and have a look at what this looks like for you guys this week. Now it all starts here on Monday when we've got this still retrograde energy. You know, your ruler's retrograde. So there's this reflection, and I think a lot of this reflection right now is in terms of yourself and probably intimacy, since Mars rules these areas. Or maybe for some of you who are going through shared resource analysis, or you have a lot of shared resource things that might be involved, could be reflecting on that as well. Now, this is also that you can pursue and really transform your intimacy and really transform who you are on that deep level, which is that eighth house. So reflecting on what really matters in life, who you are in that deep level, and what you can do to transform so you can have more of that spiritual freedom, more of that openness, that vulnerability. And again, that could be directly beneficial to matters such as intimacy and bonds. Now, Pluto's also retrograde, and so there's this pause this early part of the week too in terms of all that intimacy and eighth house stuff, since Pluto is associated with that eighth house for you. And this is all because you're transforming your worldview. And that's the big focus too, is to be seeing things in a new direction and a new light, and how you can perhaps change the way you see the future possibilities and all of this. So this has already been going on with Pluto here for many years, but now it's a bit of this reflection of it, reflecting on the worldview and what is possible. Now on Monday, Venus, who is forming a lot of aspects this week, is going to be trining up to Saturn. So with this one right here on Monday, there's this supportive energy. I think this is specifically for you to develop your values and your relationships. All right, since Venus rules those areas. So the key with this is that right now it's important for you to have this acceptance in your relationships, maybe some peace, some alone time, or some of that space, that presence when it comes to relating with others. And it's through that acceptance that a tremendous amount of compassion can really come forward. And this is because this is also happening with what you value in life. You know, it's like you're understanding more about what you value in terms of your alone time or your spiritual time out, or perhaps working behind the scenes. So on Monday, it's a great time to develop these values, develop these relationships. You can probably feel that both of those areas are quite grounded. On a material level, this could have to do with finances, okay, which is going to be a big area of change for those of you who have the financial thing going on this week. But it's all because your values are changing. So in terms of the real change aspect of it, which is going to be on Tuesday particularly, Venus is going to be squaring up to Pluto. All right, so this is the transformation really occurs. And so to be open to change with, again, relationships, with what you value, with the financial material stuff. And maybe there is something that does need to change. And that's been, again, this reflection of what's possible and what, changing your worldview of things, right? So sometimes with the square of Pluto, it's drawing the line in the sand, doing what needs to be done to make those changes without, it's from presence, without the ego getting in the way. Because if the ego gets in the way, then it can sometimes be quite destructive and it can be quite intense in that sense. So it's an excellent early part of the week to kind of step back, then from a state of presence, make whatever changes might be necessary. So again, you can have more freedom, spiritual releasing type of freedom, and more peace when it comes to your relationships and those values. Now the sun, about midweek, like I said, you'll probably start to feel this energy, focus shifting towards yourself. All right, so this is big time for you guys. You're going to have a new moon in this first house of yours next month, or very early next month. And if you're watching this for your sun sign, happy birthday, by the way, for those of you who have your birthdays this week. But in either case, for either your moon or your ascendant, there is now this focus on self. And so it's an excellent time to really be pursuing your goals, enjoying yourself, expressing yourself, right? And really focusing on what you could do to cultivate these things, the things that are important to you in life and your goals and stuff. And this is a great time to start thinking about it because you're learning a lot about it. In fact, Mercury is going to be trining up to the North Node here specifically on Thursday. So there's a lot you're learning about yourself. I think you have been learning a lot about who you are, what your goals are. And this might be specifically with communicating, learning more about communication, learning more about how you learn and your knowledge, and maybe even learn more about your routine and the importance of that, right? Which is that Mercury association with those houses for you. Okay, so that's on a minor note, the learning, but I think that's going to continue in either case. Mercury is going retrograde at the end of the month, so there is going to be this analysis of self and analysis of goals. So it's a good time to continue to learn about it and perhaps be a bit adaptive in the process. Now the full moon is going to be on Thursday night and Friday morning, so there is this now cultivation again, this continued cultivation, in fact, of your routine or of your work. And for those of you who've been heavily involved with these things in your life, such as routine and work for the past 6 months, can find perhaps a culmination of this, right? But it's a good time to continue to cultivate it. There's a lot of awareness coming in this week in regards to these matters, and what you can do to continue to move forward and work on those daily activities. Now, the last aspect of the week is going to be Venus conjoining up to Uranus, which is going to be on Friday going into the weekend. So here's where a bit of this freedom comes into the picture. When it, again, with all this stuff transforming with your values and your relationships, now over the weekend there's this freedom about it. I think you can really free it up, right? And this is again so that you can connect to your values on that deeper level through acceptance, through a peace, a surrendering, a willingness to let go, to see how your values come in through serendipity, maybe even to what your deep spiritual values are. And then again with relationships, freeing those up, having more individuality, being your true self. And there could be something new, something exciting for some of you, depending on your personal charts, with either the material stuff or the relationships over the weekend. But again, it's all for this more peace and acceptance in those areas. All right, Aries, so have a fantastic week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.